Hey guys, it's Quinn here. Welcome to the part two of season finale. Harley Low. This is for college prep, family. Please let it be the last time because I'm tired of going back and forth with it. Same thing, so let it be the last time, okay? I don't know why screen recorders are very hard to be with. Screen recorders are kind of hard to be detained. I know screen recorders are not that good of hand recordings. Some apps can only record for 5 minutes, which really fucking sucks. So, alright. My family includes me, Harley, and my brother, Skylar, and my mom, my Angie, and my dad, Scott. I am 14 years old, and my brother is 18 years old, and my mom is 40 years old. Lastly, my dad is 47 years old, which will be what's happening in life today. From the past, hopefully in the future, everything will take place at our house at some of the county and state fair. One memory I had that I still remember is when I broke my arm when I was 4 years old. My mom didn't think of that that I really broke it until about 2 weeks later. I was playing around on the hay wagon when my dad was baling hay, and then I went inside after I passed out on the couch. The next week I was playing around outside at my grandma's house. I fell on the couch. I found out 2 weeks later that it was actually broken. After my mom took me to the doctor's office, everything came out just fine though. Okay. Yeah, I've been doing that same story for like 4 times now, so let it be the last time. When my parents had me and my brother, we used to play each other when we were little. Me and Skylar still do little, but most of the time arguing. We were always arguing back and forth with each other, and sometimes even fighting. Sometimes I miss the old days when me and him used to be best friends. I am the youngest in the family. My mom would always yell at us and to tell us to quit arguing and screaming at each other, but it never really worked out and still doesn't half the time. Also, all of us lived on a farm with tons of land with large one-story house. At my house, we have pigs, a ton of pigs, because me and my brother Skylar show them at the fairs around Bartholomew County. We have several more animals other than pigs, but we don't really show these ones at the fairs. We have 3 dogs, JJ, Bailey, and Sammy, a tons of barn cats, 2 black and white cows. My family also used to have horses, but we got rid of them. I had a bulldog. Her name is Bailey. She's a beautiful white, brindle, and gray bulldog. My mom had a bulldog, and his name is JJ, who is tan and white. JJ is super scared of people because he came from people who kept him out the cage with no human interaction. My dad had an Australian Shepherd mixed with the Red Heeler. Her name is Sammy. Sammy is super special, having survived the bush hog accident that mangled her face. In the bush bog accident, we didn't really think she was going to survive for the night for how bad it was. Sammy also survived parvo when she was a puppy, which makes her super lucky and a special dog. Our whole family loved it, and we all play games together at the kitchen table. Some of our favorites are Monopoly, Family Feud, and Apples to Apples. We also love to play it when we go to fair and camps with friends all weekend long and stay up until late into the night just laughing and having a fun time. As a family, we also love hanging outside together late on the weekends, having cookouts with friends and family. Me and my mom love to eat s'mores, and sometimes we even fix them inside of the microwave, especially when it starts to get cold inside and we were creating s'mores. Mm. Can you guys hear me okay? Alright, just making sure so we don't have to do this again. In the future, me and my brother will be moving out, which will be sad at the same time, but it'll be a little bit of freedom gained. My mom and my dad will be enjoying time alone, at the house together, even though they will miss me and my brother at the house, even though we would always argue. Or when it came to the show week at the fairs, we did, which did wear everyone out. I hope we can all still get together every now and have fun late nights together. But I know we will still be a big family at the heart. Even if we will have different homes, different lifestyles, but I know I will always be welcome at my original home with my original family members. All right, good one, Harley. Or good one, Harley Lowe. All right, let's do 1 gram shamrock in the morning dew. This was from Mrs. I did that Google Doc for Mrs. Acton's class, and I remember one time I used to always get tired a lot, and Mrs. Acton was telling me to get up, and sometimes she'll pull me out of the classroom and talk to me. It says, "Quentin, really concerned about you. You need to get up for an extra class point, okay?" And yeah, Mrs. Acton was kind of concerned about me not focusing in class. Yeah, like all my teachers, like in high school, elementary school, and middle school, they would always get concerned of me getting up to like focusing in class, like falling asleep. But I shouldn't be doing that. I should always wake up in time. Sometimes Mrs. Action would always bug me and actually tell me to get up and get prepared for class because I was always getting tired all the time, and sometimes she'll take me for a walk if I don't get up. But yeah. 1 gram shamrock in the morning dew. Another one sprouted, and then they were two. 2 gram shamrocks growing beneath the tree. Another one sprouted, and then they were free. The 3 gram shamrocks by the cottage door. Another one sprouted, and then they were four. 4 gram shamrocks near a beehive. Another one sprouted, and then they were five. 5 little shamrocks, bright and emerald green. Think of all the luck these shamrocks will bring. All right. All right, let's do copy the Meet the Author Tony Adeyemi. Instructions. Before you begin reading the novel, Children of Blood and Bone, get to know the author. Read the article entitled Meet Tony Adeyemi. She is the new, is she the new J.K. Rowling? If you want to Google it, the article can be found here. If you guys want to click it out, or I can put the link to my description for this video. After you have finished reading the article, answering the following questions. The article was published on April 20th, 2018 in the Source Entertainment Weekly. Who is the author of the article? If you guys get the answer right, then I'll give you extra credit. I'll give you a shout out to next week for my last week's shout out. How old is Tony Adeyemi? What is unique about the way Adeyemi's book was sold in 2016? Hint, it had something to do with the wars. Tony Adeyemi grew up with the suburbs of Chicago, but her parents immigrated for which African country? When Adeyemi went to Harvard, got really serious about writing her first true book. What goal did she have in mind? What year of college was Adeyemi when she tried to write her first book? Freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior? If you guys get it right, then I'll give you a shout out too for that question. Just do what I say if you guys want to do that one. What was the result of the Adeyemi's first attempts to write a book? All right. Halfway through the article, the author writes a visionary fantasy that doubles as an ingenious allegory for the modern of the Black experience. Children is an addictive adventure quest through the magical land of Orisha, steeped in the West African folklore. Define the word allegory. The author of this article finally reviews how the Adeyemi's works is similar to J.K. Rowling's. What do the two have in common? As the short article comes to a close, the journalist focuses on the Adeyemi's personal characteristics, and what are they? This is what it looks like right here. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, let's do 9/11 interview questions. All right. Your assignment is to find a person who was alive and old enough to understand what happened in America on Tuesday, September 11, 2001. Yeah, Mr. Rutter's class, we always have like full definition of 2001 and 9/11. We always been studying about that. Like some teachers will study about most teachers will be studying about 9/11. We always have been learning about that kind of stuff. So yeah. Consider a relative, family friend, or even a teacher here at Columbus North. Ask that person the following questions below. You can record your answers on a sheet of paper, or you can type the answers on Microsoft Word. Save the interview and email it to me, or type the answers on the Google Doc and submit it to it. Sorry. Who did you interview? Myself. What is your relationship to them? Passionate. Date of the interview? 9920. Questions to ask. All of them must be answered and asked, or asked and answered. How old were you when the 9/11 attacks took place? 0. Where were you at the time? What were you doing? I wasn't born yet. I was born in 2003. How did you find out about the attacks? Someone heard a big crash about the war happening. When did you know it was a terrorist attack? When I recognized it when I was free. What emotions and thoughts were going through your mind as you learned about the attacks? I was sad and emotional about about the place attacking the civilians and stuff or the staff. Were you afraid of your safety or the safety of your family? What actions did you take? I didn't know really until I found out. What is your most vivid memory of that day? Something that may happen to the other cities? Do you know people who were personally impacted by the attacks? What happened to them? They probably got killed by another world hater and the common meats. Has 9/11 changed you? How so? It changed about the buildings destroyed and they paid for a lot. How do you believe 9/11 has changed our nation? The world. It was broken before and now we have to pay and rebuild it, which was a lot of money. Okay, so we did. Um, um, I'm gonna see what I gotta make sure that I've done something. Um, okay, everything's all good and stuff. Okay. All right, let's do clothing, bathing, and sleeping. This was for my child development class. What are good fabrics of baby clothing? Why? What are not good fabrics of baby clothing? Why? Pajamas that fit for a baby and small clothes are not good for or not for good or uncomfortable clothes. In terms of washing baby clothes, what should you do differently from your own clothes? Considering babies often have like sensitive skin. What makes an outfit easy to put on and take off the child? Shirt. What kind of the things do we not want on baby clothes and why? Tight pajamas. When dressing a newborn, what challenges are you aware of foresee happening and how might you make sure it doesn't happen? When dressing a baby who is around 8 months, squirmy, able to crawl away, what might you have changed it when you are changing the child's clothes? Diapers. What are the two options the parents have for diapers and which would you choose and why? What should happen if a baby develops a diaper rash? Pick out 3 outfits from your child on the shopping source online. Remember, your child is between 0 and 1. Walmart, Amazon, Baby List, Targets. Carter's or another store that sells baby clothes works. Include a picture for me to see and explain 2 reasons for each outfit and why they're a good choice. Bathing. What is a sponge bath, and how long do doctors recommend that parents give babies a sponge bath after birth? Why? Because I can tell the stump of the umbilical cord falls off, which usually happens by about 1 or 2 weeks of age. Should parents fill the tub when giving a child's bath? Why? 2 or 4 inches, 75 degrees, because it is a child's waste. A bad idea. Is it okay to leave a baby in a tub unattended for even 1 second? Why? Yes, because babies can stay in bath until they are clean and watched better. But you gotta start watching your child or watching your baby all the time. I don't know why I would think of that. How many hours of sleep do babies birth to 3 months need in a day? How many hours do for 4 and 12 months? 14 to 17 hours. What are safe places for a baby to sleep? Crib. What are some not safe places? Stranger's house and uncomfortable rooms. Like when you're like 2 years old, you may not get used to being in your bed. You may have to get used to being not in your crib, but sometimes you might miss crib for a reason. That's because you're grown up to it. The crib does not fit to your feet because cribs are for babies unless you have like uh a disability, like severe autism or something like that. I have not heard from them for a while. I do see YouTube videos of that. So you might get used to having a bed. Uh, babies only that cribs for only babies can sleep in, and child 2 years old to like a child with who is like 2 years old can actually sleep in a bed for just the right size or just for right side for the size for your brother and your younger brother. So yeah, yeah. Me and my brother would always share a room because we don't have actual rooms. I don't have my own room, which was kind of boring, but I was okay with it as long as he doesn't mess my stuff, and I'll be okay. Perception assignment. This is one that we have to do. It is a better situation of participation. Temporary things are as relevant in learning quality of better time. Perceptual learning leads to perception, which involves organizing information that comes at through the senses, how items are alike or different. This is a mother holding a baby, a fake baby, to prepare for a real kid or a real baby that they can hold as long as they're gentle with it. Don't hurt it or anything. They look the same, and the doll looks away differently to react to a real baby. Perception leads to a brain organizing information, and a mother's kid looks like the same face and have personality. Mothers can enjoy fun as a home exercise as they get used to. Mother has a different personality, and the kid is pretty much capable of doing stuff for fun plans. Perceptual learning leads to a person reacting to different sensory experiences. The child may not play the same toy, they can play the other on many different toys because sometimes kids with needs may not enjoy other kids taking their own toys and they get mad. They may not encourage it for stealing or asking. Just like when a baby is busy playing with his toy, but a mean mother takes it away from them, and the baby is going to think that you're a bad mom. So please do not steal from the baby. So, yeah, if I were the mother, I would not steal from the baby. You let the baby take his time or take his or time, and yeah, just let the baby has just let the baby do his or her own time. So why not? All right, AEIOU migration. Why African Americans love the South in droves. Right, 2 adjectives that comes in mind while you're watching. Example: mysterious, zealous, and polite. Emotions. How did the article make you feel? Two emotions, jolly and witty. Interesting. Write down two facts that you found interesting. Manufacturers can include recruits. Manufacturers can be limited to level units. Oh, wow. Write down two things that made you go, wow. Surprised, shock. What two questions do you have after watching this video? Why does it increase and decrease in some cities but not all? Does it change about the map on the increasing change? Three things you learned today. Two things you already knew before the video. Not all on that one. The attractive level representing processing migrations and levels. Converse and imaginations level whatsoever before. Your name, Quinn Simpson. Video note-taking sheet. Hip huges for great migration. Background knowledge before viewing the video. Write down anything you already knew about the dreams. You have to write at least two sentences. It conflicts the Immigration Act and Literacy Act and never same directories. The Great Migration was a really seeking of a political asylum about the image of our own country. Main points in video, record key points and details about you learned from this video. Black segregation, largest loss of blacks, represented about races, going towards on the past war upcoming. New vocab, write down any new vocab terms that you learned that you heard of in the video that you didn't know. I didn't know they could be taken around the old news about other countries and cities. Old vocab. Write down any vocabs previous chapters that you recognize. I realized that was the Highland Park automatic manufacturing that was found interesting in some people, but for me, I'm pretty stuck on the manufacturing technology would be used for me. Questions you have. Write down any questions you still have about this topic. What does a hip huges represent for the video for the info? What do you mean by that? If you guys can give me an example, that'll be okay. All right, let's do the Mudcrackers. I'm only going to be doing it for the ones that I have not viewed yet. So yeah. All right, Mudcrackers. The pen is mightier than a sword. Let me know if I'm going too fast because I'm talking a lot. By the early 90s, John D. Rockefeller Sr. had successfully built his own oil empire. For over 30 years, he has applied his uncanny business sense of unprecedented patience to the creation of a Standard Oil company, a business without rival. Unfortunately, in 90s, a 45-year-old woman by the name of Ida Tarbell proved that Rockefeller and his Standard Oil company were not invincible. Ida Tarbell's magazine series, The History of the Standard Oil Company, would not only change the history of journalism, but also the fate of Rockefeller's empire. For almost 2 years, Ida Tarbell Frowley looked through volumes of public records, including court testimony and state federal reports of a newspaper coverage. From her research, Ida found the mind-boggling wealth of information of Rockefeller's rise to power and the methods used to run Standard Oil. Ida Tarbell proved her writing ability when she was able to not only digest all of her research on the Rockefellers, but then rewrite it into fascinating yet understandable narratives, even the most common American can enjoy. The history of the Standard Oil Company grew to be the 19-part magazine series published between November 1902 and October 1904. Tarbell wrote a detailed expose of Rockefeller's unethical tactics that took advantage of Pennsylvania's independent oil workers. Still, she was careful to give Rockefeller's credit for his business savvy and the sheer genius of the business structure he had created. She was not against capitalism, but the open disregard, but of a decent ethical business practiced by the capitalists. About Standard Oil, she wrote, "They have never played fair, and that ruined the greatness for me. What did Standard Oil Company do that was unfair?" The New York Times reported in 1947 Rockefeller's of a Standard Oil Company was accused of crushing out competition, getting rich of the rebates from railroads, bribing men to spy on competing companies, of making secret agreements, of coursing or sourcing rivals to join the Standard Oil Company under threat of being forced out of business, building up enormous fortunes on the ruins of other men, and so on. As a result of Tarbell's work was the Supreme Court of decision in 1911 that was found Standard Oil in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. The court found that Standard was an illegal monopoly and ordered it broken into 34 separate companies, thus preserving competition in business. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know, and hopefully that turns out well.